Welcome to the BuilderHub Getting Started tutorial. In this presentation, I'm going to cover the basic configuration items that you need to do to first start using BuilderHub. Once these items are defined, you can then begin adding in customer information and generating reports. These are all accessed from the configuration pull-down menu, which any of your users with the administrative privilege has access to. I should mention the data you're seeing in this presentation comes from our demo site. The database assigned to you when you first sign up with BuilderHub has many of these fields pre-filled in with example information, but of course you'll want to customize them for your needs. There are 4 categories of information that must be defined to describe your work environment. These are the company information, the building plans, the communities, and your price book options. Company information is basically where you define information specific to your company that describes it. Some examples are the company name, company legal description, the company principal title. These show up on reports. Building plans, also known as models, define the plans that are assigned to customers. These are used on the estimate reports and in the contractor work orders. You also want to define communities and/or subdivisions, which define the locations you're working in. These are referenced in the work orders, in the building agreement, and several other customer documents. Lastly, you have the price book, which is broken down into 2 portions. Price book categories, which are simply groupings for your price book offerings. Every entry in a price book is associated with a category. This makes it easier to search for and select price book options in the Create, Edit, Estimate screen and extra work orders. The categories that you use and the price book options that are assigned to them are totally up to you. You can use as many or as few as you like. And finally, we have the actual price book itself, which is the listing of optional add-ons that you offer with their associated prices. It includes such things as appliance upgrade, plumbing add-ons, trim options, etc. They appear in the Create, Edit, Estimate screen and the extra work order screen, and it makes it easier for the estimator to record customer selections, and they of course appear on the estimate reports and totals for that customer. So let's go through these screens one at a time. Start with the company editor. And as you can see, this is just basic information about your companies. As I said, legal description, company principal name, etc. A couple of things I should point out. First of all, the administrative division, which is really the full name of your county or parish. This shows up on the build agreement. There is also a change fee that you can use or not, depending on whether you want to charge a fee for customer generated changes. There's also a logo editor, which I won't really go into at this point, but this allows you to upload an image file of your company logo that can then be used on reports. Next, we'll cover the building plans, which are basically the models, the listing of the models that you provide, and these can be associated with a customer and displayed on documents. As you can see on each line, there are a couple of buttons to edit these things. The pencil being the edit option and the trash can being the delete. If I were wanting to edit one of these, I simply click the edit button, make any changes that I want, and then I can either click the blue check mark to save it or the red X mark to throw away my changes. And finally, we'll cover the price book. As I said, the price book consists of 2 portions, the actual options and then the categories that are assigned to them. First of all, we'll take a look at the categories. And as I said, there's really arbitrary categories that these can be grouped in. You can have as many as a few of you like, and the editing process works the same for those. Next, we have the actual price book options themselves. Each of these is defined to a category and can really be anything you want to have it. Some people associate these particular model or a particular sub. It's up to you. And again, the editing process works the same as these. So there you have it. 4 things. Describe your company, describe your subdivisions, describe your building plans, your models, and then put in your price book. Once you have all these things put in, then you can start working with actual customers. That's the end of our presentation. But as always, if you have any questions, just drop us an email at support@builderhub.com. Thank you for listening and have a good day.